Hello.
I don't think you come all the way from there on the Friday to do the job.
See, I don't know.
Here's
It's
4 minutes.
taking the bollards to the guy here, or is the David, the guy from here, going over to Naples to pick them up? I don't know.
All right,
I
Brian,
know it's not
you are now the host,
it
Brian.
could very well not be a 2-day job.
Good evening. Good evening.
So they got holes to dig, they got wires to make sure they're
Yeah.
connected.
But
They've
everybody,
got
I
concrete to
realize,
pour
can
for
everybody
each one of the
sign in?
slabs.
And we are.
Al, YouTube is muted?
It's now unmuted.
Unmuted, okay.
Can we turn this off behind?
Oh, yeah.
The disco show.
So demanding.
Jeez. Trying to give a little levity.
You have some printed out?
Can't get it off now.
I can't figure out how to turn it off.
Turn off all your apps.
Pull out that plug.
Pull the plug, yeah.
Okay. And we'll wait.
That'll get it off.
This is it.
For Dan?
Will,
Will, Dan,
just Will and Dan,
Did you sign in?
Yes.
right?
So you don't have to. No, no, no.
I have Will right there.
This clock is ticking.
Very.
somebody's,
I am listening.
All right.
I am on, but remote.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to go make you a copy?
I have never used this before.
He's on but remote.
All right, what does that
What does that
mean?
mean?
Enter a number followed by the pound key.
Yes, I'm seriously Yeah.
You have to hit something.
No, no, we didn't.
He's saying no Zoom today. Don't understand.
It's YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they need a call-in number.
Oh, for the.
It's also.
Hello?
And you know what? I don't blame
No,
you.
that is,
Welcome.
that was already set up.
Freeconferencecall.com. You're helping people around the world.
That was already set up.
communicate for free. Please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash
Oh, he hung up?
sign.
Oh, yeah, we gotta write it down. With the thing.
Is that all your money?
The recording has started. Please announce yourself.
Bob Jury. Host?
Usher back.
Hi, Lucy.
Because you said they should call in.
Yes.
Hi, Lucy.
That's what I was thinking.
Did you get my face?
Facebook?
Love it. I even had to
Let
do
me
it
do
in
this.
push.
You put in the
They need the number to call
No,
in.
no. You just use it. You go put face,
Yeah, and Will just said he needs a conference number to call in,
come on.
to dial in.
Yeah, taking it back to Gloria just gave me a pack, she split a pack of feta cheese with me. So I figured I'll use basil and spinach.
6.
Oh, cool, I got it, she got me, she ordered for me a package of the frozen spinach. And she's telling me, mix it together with your spices, whatever. So I was thinking basil. Yeah, good.
Always try to
Bob Jury.
get on the participant part of the YouTube streaming.
Oh, you
Live
didn't
stream.
own it.
I don't know how to get on. I'm doing something wrong.
I've always been on this side of the fence. So I know.
You know, when I was on the other side of the fence, I couldn't get on either. I just had to listen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never could give any
Nobody's
questions.
calling those.
Okay, so then it's on me.
But Stephanie always does. I don't know what she
Well, I
does.
gotta ask.
She does. They have to just call and that number
When you
that actually
click on, you go on the.
Oh, okay.
And you log in, and you get onto the live stream, watching the meeting. They get to become a participant, but there's a, you click on it, you can't click on it.
It doesn't work
That's a
all the
suggestion
time.
for the next
I usually
meeting.
have to go to
Make
the, actually go
Wait
to,
from here, 8 to 2.
and I find.
Of course, I never got
The
it.
light-
That's the only time.
Really?
I know.
Okay, so then without clicking, doing.
I always find this setup very cumbersome as opposed to a regular Zoom meeting. I don't understand why they use this setup.
Yeah, but do I need to open it back up?
When I set up Zoom meetings, I have participants and participants or panelists.
I understand
The
that
panelists are the one that have the pictures show up on the screen, and the participants are all the people that are observing. Why they do it this way, I don't know.
You did, Jack?
Hey, bud, how you doing?
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
I know.
Yeah.
That's it down there.
How'd you do before?
I just dialed and wondered.
Welcome and thank you for choosing freeconferencecall.com. You're helping people around the world communicate for free. Please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign.
Guy calling in.
She has to call in as the host to turn it off.
The recording has started. Please announce yourself.
Bob Drury.
Scary Bob.
Okay, now somebody has to turn off their phone. Drew.
You probably had, one of you has called in off your phone.
They need to all mute their phones.
So I'm gonna mute all. You're all muted. Okay. Whoa. What happened to everybody being here? Hello, welcome. It is 7:07. Sorry for the delay. Let's start this meeting. Please call the roll.
Meeting to order, a roll call. Bob Drury,
Here.
Jack Pimenta,
Here.
Marie Chiarello here, Rebecca Norwood here, William Timmermans. Will, he's here. Will?
Someone's got
Well-
that on.
We got an echo. That's funny.
We got three Wills here, yes. Go ahead.
Is
Okay, Will's
anybody-
here? Tina Decker,
Cell phone on?
Dan Schmidt, absent.
Oh, that's
Just for
fine.
them to be echoing, they want to somebody else.
Good dad.
It's just on before.
Okay, can you guys hear us out there in the other world? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, anyhow. Okay, I'm muting them.
Yes, I
Good
did.
evening, everybody.
Very good. Now we're right here.
I don't have this, I don't need this.
No.
Okay,
I don't think so.
okay. This is really driving me crazy.
You have a strong voice.
Somebody.
Let's do the roll call, we'll have a quorum.
We
Let's do the roll call.
we have a quorum.
Is your phone on?
Some of it, anyhow.
There he is. There's Will.
Second time.
Do you have the volume on that? You might. wall tile up on the knee wall, insufficient sealing of hurricane shutters, which was leading to water intrusion, and also leading to rusted rebar and cracked concrete. I asked all the owners to take responsibility immediately, 2 long words, to do their own assessment by knocking on the tiles on their balcony floors and letting us know if there are any cracks in the walls or floors or ceiling. These are things we here on this form. Thank you. Okay. I asked the owners, each individual owner, to do their own assessment and check their balconies until we are able to. We ask you to look at your balcony, your walls, the ceilings, and if it's not association related, please take it upon yourself to take care of it. It's your responsibility. Or hire a contractor to get it done. If it's our responsibility, we will take care of it. Currently, we have an owner that has brought to our attention that there are obvious issues on their balcony. Chipped and cracked tile, water intrusion, among other things. It was brought to our attention in April that they had a board covering their tile. The board was to cover the cracked tile on the surface of their balcony. We noticed this in April, brought it to their attention, and it wasn't until this year that we filed a non-compliance notice against them. They're facing fines right now, and it has taken 2 months to get their balcony properly tiled, properly pitched, and the folding shutters taken care of. Still not done yet. They're facing a $100 fine every day until they get this done. I reached out to that person this week, and they have every excuse in the world. It's not done. It's going to the grievance committee, and the grievance committee will handle the fine up to $1,000. So beyond the repair of the balcony and all the stuff that they have stalled on and taken so much time, they're going to face a big fine. And it will be a lien on their property. It's a lien in your ledger. So you can't sell or do anything until that lien is removed. We have one resident that without a permit put out a wood stud wall and plywood wall that was installed with a sliding glass door into their apartment. Sounds wonderful. Again, no permit was pulled, no inspection of the wall, putting our building and those in the 11th, from the 11th floor down in the 8 stack, 10 stack, yeah, oh yeah, 10 stack, in jeopardy of wind and water damage to their units. When the property went up for sale, they called the office and notified us that there were damp walls. On inspection, we found out that was not the original wall, and it wasn't even built correctly. So we called the building department. They have to repair that wall and build it correctly. This week, we went into another unit under construction, and this one's on the 11th floor, 8th stack, correct?
Yes.
No windows, no doors.
They have windows. There's no door.
There's sliding glass door.
There's no sliding glass door. They're all windows.
Okay, there are windows, no sliding glass door. Guess what? We're in hurricane season. Their doors are not expected to be in until August. So anyone in that stack of the building, you're susceptible to damage if there is a hurricane from water, wind, and anything else that happens. They did put up a temporary wood wall today, but this is ridiculous. With that said, I opened last month's meeting on June 22nd. I made note of a lot of serious structural problems with this building. There's a lot of deterioration, a lot of rebar that's expanding, a lot of balconies that need repair. Less than 24 hours, 97 people were killed in the collapse of Champlain Towers. Less than 24 hours since I brought out all these issues. 97 people were killed. More than 147 people are homeless. So now, as I stated in that meeting, and it's on record, it's going to cost us a lot of money to properly secure this building and make it safe for our residents, our association members, and any stakeholder in this building. Right now, since Champlain Towers went down, cities are going to be more, we're going to be under the microscope. It's going to cost more. I went out to 14 people this past month trying to find somebody to come in and look at our building. I've had 4 responses now, 1 that actually came out today. Many years have gone by and many patches have been done to this building. Some were properly done, some with permits, and some were not done at all. Some were overlooked by previous administrations that chose not to increase our maintenance fees or reserves to avoid conflict or dissatisfaction with the board. That is not going to be the case going forward. I'm sorry to say, it's all going to cost you money. Right now we're up for our 10-year recertification and we're starting early. As I said, I have been going out to different engineering firms to try to come up with somebody that will come into our building, assess the issues, and there's a lot more that goes with this. We will then need to remedy these deficiencies prior to the anniversary of our 50-year certification, 40-year, which is next year. This is not going to be cheap and cannot be done in-house. We cannot continue to patch and put a Band-Aid on this building. Every engineer is going to need to access every building, or every apartment, every balcony, everywhere in the whole building to make sure we are safe. We will get a full report from the structural, electrical engineers. We will have a certain period of time to remedy those situations. If you go down to the garage, the 4 extension cords that power one of our cameras are not to code.
YouTube is muted.
It's not anymore. No, they can hear everything that's going on.
God damn it.
I'm sorry.
You're
Okay.
getting the delays.
Some were overlooked by previous administrations that chose not to increase the maintenance fees or reserves to avoid conflict or dissatisfaction. That's not going to be the case. We're up for a 10-year. We will need to remedy these. These are not going to be cheap and cannot be done in-house. And as it has been before. Therefore, we will be walking each floor apartment to get a full report with a structural engineer. The board of Emerald Towers has the right to move forward with any cost and assessment needed for the life safety of our owners and residents. I will not be on the news for one that has set aside and just let everything go by. Let it go on record that I will not, nor will this board at this time, be responsible for for something that could happen. The Board of Emerald Towers has the right to move forward with cost assessments needed for the life safety of the owners and the residents, and we will do so in a transparent way. But we will not put ourselves at risk like those in the board members of Champlain Towers that were threatened with being overthrown, ousted, or otherwise. They stalled, they overthrew the board, they didn't want to spend the money. The decisions for prolonged spending money for repairs was challenged by the owners, and look where they are now. Half of them are dead. This has kept me up ever since I announced that there were issues with this building. 2 days later, when I woke up and found out that at one time 146 people were dead, it was on me. It was on me because I had noticed these things and immediately went into action. And I'm sorry I'm being very strong about this, but it hurts. And every one of you has seen a crack, a crevice, a problem, some water. So we really need to take action now. We're still going full speed ahead with the ELSS program. That's a life safety issue for everybody. We're ahead of schedule. We're going into phase 2, and then we have phase 3. We're going full speed ahead with decorating this place too, because we're going to take down every ceiling tile. We're going to destroy the carpet. We're going to destroy the walls. We're going to do it all and make this a better place. And for those of you who do not feel you want to pay, I suggest you should get a for sale sign and put it on your door, because there's going to be money that's going to be shelled out by every member of this board, association, and so forth to make this building right. I am not going to live in an unsafe environment. I'm not going to live in a building that could collapse, because we are approximately the same distance from the ocean. We have the same underground garage. We don't have the pool, but we can't say that all those issues led to the tower collapsing. But whoever is up at night and hears a crack or a boom, I'm sure you'll understand that it's really hit me hard. This is the worst time to be president of an association right now, when there's COVID, there's everything else. I'm sorry, it's just hit me.
I just want to say something. There is nothing that we're seeing that is ready to fall
No.
down at this time. And he's a little bit upset. We've had a lot of things going on. So this board is getting hit with a lot of different things, and not all terrible. It's just things, nonsense with people taking doors out and doing stupidity, just plain stupidity. And that is what we're all upset about. Every day it's something. So when you're on this board, you don't stop. You know, people think it's a nothing job. So people that think they want to be on it, but they don't want to live, they're not here. We're working every day on something and something different. But I don't want everybody to get scared. That building is not falling down.
No.
And 40 years stated that there were nothing major on the 40-year inspection. So I just wanted to clarify, and that was, Will was texting me to say that.
Okay.
So, since he can't talk. So I just wanted to calm everybody down.
It looks pretty bad right now that one of our elevators is down.
Yeah.
We have a property manager that left, and it seems like we're sitting on our asses. We're not. We're communicating every single day, 4 times a day, 6 times a day. I email, I have carpal tunnel from all the damn emails that you guys don't see, that we're trying to keep everybody protected. The amount of time I take, I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to give this one up so I don't lose my full-time job, but spending time trying to find somebody to come over to this building and say, this is safe, this is not safe, it takes a lot of time. And anybody offering to take over that situation, see me. Okay, go.
Okay.
Dennis.
Well, I gotta take exception to what you just said. You can feel sorry for yourself, but it has to read the sorrow on your door. We had a 40-year inspection, it's fine. The maintenance fees and assessments had nothing to do with the safety and maintenance building. I worked this thing over 10 years, individually, roofs, elevators, cooling towers, and on place. And we don't see rebars when we look. You can take a look. We had a 40-year inspection in the past. And if you're gonna feel sorry for yourself, then leave. It's not that hard because an elevator's not working or the property manager left. It's not the end of the world. We face this stuff all the time, face a lot more than this. So try to have a positive attitude about things. Find out what's wrong with the building if you think it is. Get a second opinion and do it. Instead of lecturing everybody what's wrong and you're gonna leave the building place 8,000.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Otis Elevator?
Excuse me?
Otis.
Otis Elevators. Otis Elevators. Okay, so, we've gone through a long battle with Otis Elevators. They've been our, service company for 7 years now for elevators. They have barely serviced or properly maintained our elevators. They want to charge us $20,000, as everybody knows, because everybody hears about this, to fix a piece that they did not properly maintain. They want to charge us $4,000 for the strip that keeps the elevator door from closing on you, that they placed in a area where they knew it was susceptible to damage. We're trying to get out of this contract. We're trying to avoid the $20,000 charge, because we have $60,000 in our delinquent maintenance account. $20,000 out of that $67,000 does not leave us much money for problems. We're working on this. Please be patient. We just had our lawyer send an email to a certified letter to Otis saying you have 30 days to upkeep our elevators or you're out. It will save the association so much more money if we get away from Otis. It's pretty bad when the Otis elevator repairman says, why are you guys with Otis? They bite. So it's pretty bad.
Okay, so may I add something?
Sure.
We not only sent them a letter to get out of their contract, we also have a backup company that we've negotiated with that's willing to step in, and we know their cost and what they can do and how they can fix the problems that we found out that Otis is neglected. So we're going forward with that in a proactive way. So, Secretary's report?
I have one, just
No.
a remark about that. If I may.
Yes.
In the contract, is the lawyer does he have strong feelings about the breach of performance clause that's in the contract?
We did hire a third-party inspector who did a full report. It wasn't a biased report from another company that we were looking at. It was
But
a
in Otis's
third-party.
contract, every contract has a non-performance.
Non-performance,
clause.
yes,
So
30 days.
Is it in our favor?
yes. 30 days if they did not take care of things. Correct.
Thank you.
50-year certification. Do we need to review the people we've talked to or not?
I think not right now, because we're still negotiating with each of
Right.
the three companies. When we have something more substantial, I think that's when we need to, we don't want to confuse everyone with 4 companies in the footprint today, right
I
now.
think we should all discuss it, narrow it down, and then bring it, even if we have to call a special meeting.
Okay.
So that we get it done
I
sooner
think that's
than
another
later.
issue.
But I'd rather we all discuss it and narrow it down.
We still have people coming through. Okay. Secretary.
Okay, I'd like approval. Anyone have any additions, deletions? to the June 22nd, 2021 minutes?
Nope.
No.
Dina? No. No? Okay. Everybody?
No.
Will? No.
We have 4 of them.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from June 22nd.
I second them.
Alrighty, next, treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report, as far as the income, we're $150 ahead of the budget.
Oh.
That'll help us.
I knew we get something good tonight.
Our expenses, our expenses are 35,256, and our budget is 38,000. So we're ahead of expenses also. Now, the utilities are within budget by $89. The facilities were kind of out of budget, and the reason for it is we are $7,194 out of budget, and the reason for it is we have a Genco plumbing service, which was $3,150. And we also have a MWS interior design, which was a $5,000 down payment. So that brought it to a little over $7,000 difference. But we're still doing well.
The Genco was to replace or fix the pipes that were going through the wall
Oh.
that were disintegrating.
Yeah.
The one on this roof.
Yeah, the one that.
On the roof.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Now, the citywide elevator, who is that?
Citywide Elevator is the one who did that was $1,500.
It was $1,400, yes.
That was our third eye,
Okay,
to come in and say that there were issues.
okay.
I'm going to read the, no, this is the manager's report. Who's coming? Maintenance. I'm reading for Mark, the maintenance report. But any questions, ask Jack.
Very good.
Robert has been closing many small work orders. The cooling tower has been successfully serviced. The generator required a new alternator, which was replaced by OK Generator. Robert replaced the exhaust fan and the light in the lift pump room. All garage drains have been cleared, and we are working on the solution to the hydrostatic relief boxes in the garage. The doors to the dumpster room on the south side have been replaced. The chlorine and the acid feeders have now both been replaced for the pool. The deteriorated pipe on the roof was replaced. The lobby AC compressor has been serviced and is now fully functioning. Robert has been working to clean up the CCTV wiring and to ensure all cameras are fully online. Robert repaired a leaking water pipe on the exterior wall of apartment 510, determined to be ET's responsibility. The repairs to the elevator are pending the outcome of this dispute with Otis. We are currently awaiting proposals to repair a leak in front of the beach locker room and a second proposal to replace the frame supporting the rec room AC unit. And that's that.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Dennis has a question.
Bob, you're talking about taking care of the building. I just had $1,200 damage to my car because you guys didn't properly secure the drain. I just pulled in there tonight, there's another drain cover open. Someone's gonna break their leg or you're gonna have more damage to other vehicles. So you better get on that. It's that simple stuff.
Sure, thank you.
It's been like that for a
Thank
while.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been that way for a while?
Yeah,
Yeah, who was it in
yeah, it
charge?
has been for over 10 days, Bob.
Thanks.
Maybe you gotta walk and look around.
Thanks.
Okay, let's move on to the manager's report.
Unit 703 was sold at auction. Seacrest received an application in the name of a corporation, which our documents prohibit. A copy of the documents of the association with the corporate ownership restriction was sent to the title company. and they are in the process of reapplying in the name of an individual. Unit 710 already closed on Friday, July 16th. New owners are doing some reno work, and they will be using the unit on a seasonal basis. Unit 709 continues being offered for sale by owner. If interested, please contact Michael or Tom. Unit 904 also continues being offered for sale. Asking price is $350,000. Currently, units 403, 706, 906, 1102, and 1108 are under renovation. Awaiting permits for renovations, Unit 201, 305, 404, and 1202. The information binders have been completed. I'm waiting for a letter from the board to include in the binder before distributing to all units. Almost all residents and relatives have completed the Butterfly MX registration process. If someone is still in need of help to complete this, I now have the information to be able to guide you through the process if required.
By the way, I'd like to introduce Valerie. Yeah, nobody met her. And Jack.
Question.
Jacqueline is from Seacrest. She is the area director for Seacrest.
Do we have selling price of 703 and 710?
I will have to look.
Okay, I'd like to know that.
I think 710 was 414.
415 is what I understand.
Tom, if you're out there and you want to tell me what the price was, I'd appreciate it.
Excuse
He's been
me,
texting.
Linda Baccarat has her apartments advertised.
Yeah,
With
and
a
that-
lower price, it's $265.
Down the sign, it's higher than what it reflects in this email. She just put the sign up today, or yesterday, I think.
The one that has the thing that you cut off?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because I think she has 365.
No,
No.
265?
265.
Yeah.
Is it a one bedroom?
Yeah.
One.
Oh, okay.
Okay, anybody here from ELSS? I guess not.
Okay,
And
architectural.
Stephanie?
Yeah, moving ahead, Mark has been here about 3 times since he received the deposit for the design proposal. Right now, he's working on the ductwork that we're going to need if we're going to extend the air conditioning capability across the units, or at least more across the units. Right now, just for anybody who's interested, the ductwork ends around 24 inches from the entry onto each unit, onto each hallway. And then it's up to the natural flow of air to get the air conditioning down the hallways to everybody's apartment.
And
And
in the hallways, not to their apartment.
no,
No.
well,
So
to
in the
the,
hallway.
Yeah, in the hallway.
going, that is correct, I'm sorry. Because we have, been trying very hard that as long as we have the opportunity to take all those tiles down, which we're going to have to, that this is the time to correct the deficiency in our airflow. Right now, the air conditioning comes and it sits above the drop ceiling and allows natural flow to move that air conditioning around. And as all of us know, that's not very efficient.
The way the whole place was designed was there's negative pressure inside your apartment, positive outside. That way your cooking smells don't go out in the hallway. And what it was designed for is by the trash room, there's a duct that comes in and just terminates right above the ceiling, and your air conditioners pull in, and the cracks in your doors and all the other cracks in the building pull that down to either end of the building. Well, once we have to seal off those doors, we take away the ceilings, we have to look for an alternative route to get air conditioning down to the ends of the building. So those of you that are on the, like you're in the 1-2 stack, the 9-10 stack, there's nothing to pull that air, the cool air down to that area.
So that's what we hope to remedy by exploring options on extending the current, the ductwork down those halls.
Great.
And in fact, he will be here with his engineer on Thursday, day after tomorrow, to do a little bit more exploring, to see some of the options, just to explore some of the options. The original contract calls for, the plans for all 3 phases. For those of you who are not aware, we contracted for 3 different phases of this redesign process. The hallways being the first and our largest priority. The second would be the lobby area. And the third would be all the recreation rooms. And of course, everybody is very anxious to get that first priority done. I did explore the possibility with him of moving the date instead of a 6-week timeline to move it closer and just focus on the hallway for now, as opposed to waiting for him to finish all 3 design phases, just so he can jumpstart it as quick as possible and stay aligned and sync, if you will, with the ELSS work that's going on. So that's really what I wanted to ask the board, if they would be willing at this point in time to accept just that first phase as quickly as possible. The engineer will be here Thursday, and Mark has said that he could probably have the hallway designs totally complete within 2 weeks. Now, it's up, you gotta tell me what you want, because the contract does call for all 3 phase designs to be ready in 6 weeks.
Well, if he has it done in 2 weeks, right? And then how long will it take him to get the other 2 done?
I didn't
Within
ask
6
him that,
weeks?
but probably, by doing it in 2 weeks, he would focus entirely on the proposals and the storyboards for the hallways. And then, once he makes that presentation to the board, then he'd finish up the
Are you
others.
talking about him doing the storyboard? Or are you talking about him doing physical work?
Yeah,
Physical work?
no, I'm talking about presenting his plans, his
Okay.
alternative
Just
plans.
plans.
Correct.
Do we need to make a decision tonight?
Well, I'd like to have some feedback to tell him whether or not we would
As
would
soon as-
welcome that.
I think as soon as it's ready, why not just give it to us?
Well,
That's it.
it's up to you guys.
Are you all right
I
with
mean,
that?
Yeah.
I prefer it that way because it needs to be coordinated with the work going on.
then I'll tell him that if he can focus in getting those hallway proposals ready, and he says he can do it within 2 weeks, Thursday,
That's great.
then I'm gonna tell him to go ahead and do that.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you.
I
Do we need to
just,
make a motion for this or not? Or just,
No,
That's
all
up
it
to you.
is,
I don't
it's
think
not
that's a
money, is
vote.
it?
No,
No,
it's not money at all.
In that
It's just,
case,
it's the timing, and that's
okay.
it.
No, proceed with
6
that.
Please
weeks for
proceed.
all 3 or 2 weeks for the hallways.
No,
That's the
this is not
difference.
we don't need to vote on this. I think we all agree
I
in
just wanted to know
agreement.
what you all
In
thought.
order for us to go forward, he's gonna give us information that's gonna help ELSS people when they start to move forward.
Okay, then I will tell him that we'll go for the 2 weeks
Perfect.
on the hallways.
Yeah, I've been trying to push the hallway stuff forward
Right,
because ELSS our
It's
advance
moving
is
very
way
fast.
far ahead.
all right, perfect.
So perfect.
Did they do the penthouse apartment?
Yeah, I'm coming right now,
Oh,
that
oh.
Will reminded us that, yes, the top floor, the penthouse floor has been completed.
Oh,
They will be back again tomorrow, and they just have some more work inside the hallway. They're very neat, some apartments are quick, some aren't, depends on how they have to route it, but you'd never know that they were there. They're really, they're good.
Sorry, when are they gonna, they're going down to 11 then, that's?
They'll be going down to 11, but I'm not sure, I think it's next week they start on 11.
They already looked at ours.
Right.
Wow.
Will we know ahead of 2 days at least?
Excuse me, honey?
Will we have 2 days?
Notice.
Before they come to work in my apartment, for example?
Yeah, we should know exactly. By the next couple of days, we should know when they'll be in there.
That I stay to work.
I think Charlie or or Will will give you the look forward on that. Very soon, Will's listening, and I know Charlie knows what he's doing already to go forward and give you 11th floor a look forward.
That's Will to call myself.
Is Charlie not here tonight?
No, he's not. The other thing is that apartment, 710 went for 410. Okay,
Oh, 710 for what?
and, okay, so I think I answered all, I did everything I was told to do.
Was that the one with the illegal wall and?
Yes, and the Eagle,
That's
yes.
been agreed upon.
But the new gentleman that bought it is taking care of all of it. He's already putting in
He's gonna meet
the
code, and the
permits.
permit guy's gonna come look at it.
It was barely a wall.
Okay, what's next is,
Still on the committee thing?
oh, we finished committee?
We're still-
You have a question?
I want to bring up something that was mentioned in the last board meeting about the, getting rid of the manager's apartment and making a gym out of it. So, and it was brought up that there was really no cost effect, and it's not part of our budget. I gotta tell you, that's not the case. The manager's apartment was put there because they usually hired an elderly man and his wife who were there full-time, so it was part of his pay package to live in the apartment. About 20, 25 years ago, they got a couple of a young kid in there with 2 or 3 children, and it became a mess with the president, and new guys didn't want to do it. So the manager's apartment generates $15,000 a year. When you look back the past 20 years, that's like $225,000. You look ahead for the next 10 years, that's another $150,000 and $20,000. So it is part of the pay package, so we had to pay the maintenance guys more because they weren't going to live in this apartment. So we're talking about $450,000 in probably the last 20 years there, or going forward. That's a lot of money, folks.
I think we
They
talked
paid
about
for
that.
the,
It was just, I don't mean to interrupt
just
you, but
a
it was
comment.
just
An
an
observation.
observation,
well,
something to talk
The
about.
point was, okay, no. the
We're not
point
even
was that
there yet.
it was the cost.
I just want to say something right now.
Yeah.
Please, please, no.
There are committees that are working on this. There's a lot of rumors going around that it's going to cost $5,000 to take out one door. That is totally false. Until the interior decorator architect comes out with storyboards and everybody has a chance to look at them and look at the budgets, nothing is set in stone. So there's no further discussion on what the budget is. It's going to be $1 to $10 million. So that's the scope right now. So right now, saving money,
Well, it
It was an
It's
idea.
about the history of.
And until,
So let me finish.
And we didn't
So let me
talk about
finish.
that.
We didn't talk about it, nobody knows why that's there. Then you're gonna have to get permits, it's another $75,000 to rip the walls and gym equipment. It was referenced that the gym that we put in about 3 years ago was a hole in the wall. Let me tell you what, I stayed in a lot of Hyatts, a lot of Hilton hotels. We have a better workout center upstairs than they do in those hotels. We have never one. Hey, I worked out all the time. Okay.
and you're allowed to say it right now, but that is, it's mute right
No, it's
now.
not, sir.
Because we haven't even discussed any of the design. There's nothing off the table.
It's not off the table, it was brought up, and you needed a response.
If you listen to a rumor, go ahead and talk. Talk take the microphone.
It's not
Go
even,
leave, go home,
it's
just
just a
take your
thought.
marbles and go home, you can't have it.
No, it
Why don't you
was
take your fucking marbles and go home?
I think my job is.
No.
Point of order.
Yeah, I'd like to respond to that because I'm the one that brought it up last time.
Yeah.
And I can just tell you that I used as an example of his creativity.
Yeah.
That was all I did because I thought it was a creative design idea. No, that's
It's not
all.
creative, it
Well,
was
I think
about,
it was
you
very
brought up the
creative.
cost of it, that it isn't budgeted in the annual budget. It actually is, it has been.
Yeah, I
It's
know
worth
it's
$500,000 over 25 years.
Business is not occurring right now for the decorating committee. Any more discussion on this is off the table and not to be discussed anymore. Move on, everybody.
Great for free, let's keep going.
Go ahead.
That's another issue.
Mike, do you have something to say?
Cutting me off?
No, it's not.
I mean, go ahead.
First of all, Robert's rules has time limit on responses. Second of all,
if we can use, in my opinion only, if we can use our space for the benefit of the entire community that lives here, we should move forward. The manager's apartment is a big decision. It comes down to $11.90 per month per unit. $12 times 105
It's cheaper than
times 12 months is $15,000. So if the building chooses to use its space wisely for the betterment of the community and the ownership, that's if everybody agrees that we can use the space more wisely. I think $12 is worth the price to have better amenities
A month.
and a better building closer to a 5-star building and not a B- building.
I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
Let me just say something. When and if this subject comes up again in reality, in the future, we appreciate everyone's comments. Thank you.
And we will start the meeting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Moving forward.
Okay, topics not previously discussed.
Don't open the Pandora's box.
Well, I want to discuss something.
So I think it's important. Is that okay?
You got 2
Yes,
minutes.
he has the right.
2 minutes. We have the butterfly system, which is improved safety, so you can see people in the back of the building. And I remember you went on about that. But guys, in actuality, you can get unlimited, a 4-digit PIN code or a P-bar to hundreds of people. We have basically compromised the safety and security of the building the way it's set up right now. That needs to be changed. I give a PIN code to contractors and stuff, basically the hundreds of people that walks into this building anytime.
Why would you do that to anybody?
Because you might have, it doesn't matter, it's available. It's just like,
But that's-
it's just
why would you do that?
It's available. And you don't have to.
Shame on you.
Yeah, shame on you for giving that number out.
You can give you send your key code to a friend, they can give it to other people. You can give a 4-digit PIN code to get in here, and they can give it to other people. Or
That PIN code is not to be given out.
It does not, that's just the way life works, Bob.
Okay. Thank you.
That's why they flew airplanes into towers,
Thank you
because
for
they didn't change the door locks.
Thank you for your
They
comments.
changed the whole
Thank you.
deal.
Thank you.
What's next?
We'll address that with next. Next.
Anybody else?
It's Bill.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I brought this up 2 months ago, and Valerie, I would like an answer from you if you can find the answer to my question that I've asked twice previously, and I haven't been provided with the answer. When a letter's sent out to the ownership about not venting your dryers in the AC closets, and the letter states that the fire marshal can fine you $10,000, I would like to know what the authority is that the fire marshal has for that fine and the fee schedule stating that fine. I've asked Luce, the previous property manager, 2 times, and I've asked it publicly at a meeting, and I have not had an answer yet.
This is Bob.
I think a blind letter needs to have
Yes.
substance and backup to what the letter is stating.
Yeah, do you want to be on?
This is related to what?
Venting in your-
Moving-
A dryer vent, a dryer
A
vent.
dryer vent, when we get into the AC closet, we have
Yeah,
to take
I'm
it
putting you on
out.
speaker, you're on speaker now.
Gotcha.
And my second comment was, I would just like to know, in the future, what's going on with 507 and how that slips through the cracks.
507? That?
The gentleman from Chicago.
Yeah, and that's a long story.
That was all done through the lawyers.
Yeah, but as owners, we have a right to know that story back in
Is that the wall?
No.
No, there's a lien
on Solano's.
on Solano's place in 2018 that was put on for non-payment of association dues and so forth. It was paid for a long time. It stopped being paid. There was a $25,000 or $28,000 lien that the Emerald Tower Association had on that building, or on that unit. It somehow went to court, and I don't know how this works, but you can buy somebody's lien. If you have a lien against your place, I can buy that lien, in hopes that there's no mortgage or no other liens against the building
Yeah.
or against that unit. I can buy that lien for $28,000, clear the books, pay Emerald Tower a lot of money, and I take that lien in hopes that I can go to auction or stop the auction on that property and then
Buy it yourself.
buy it yourself. And that's
And
what
then
happened.
flip it.
And flip it.
And that's, and it's.
I just think the association in the last, since 2018 or whenever a lien was officially placed on the Solano place, that we lost an opportunity for money
And I agree
to
too.
buy it.
And unfortunately, I cannot understand RIT, why, RIT, and all these other words
It's
that
very
lawyers
complex
use.
system, a process, I'm
As
sure.
an attorney,
But I'm not an attorney. But it was an opportunity lost, and I think we should find out why.
Maybe it was
And it
between
should
our
be-
attorney and their attorney.
It was all lawyers stated that it was a good deal, that we should take what they were offering.
No, we
that-
want,
We could have taken
Oh, you-
that
you're talking
money or
about years
zero.
ago?
no.
I think we could have taken on that lien and acted in the same way that that attorney acted,
It
by
appears that,
making a below market offer and
That's
getting
right.
it.
However, but I don't know if you can, if the knowledge was brought to our attention.
I don't think it was, and I think that's where
I
the
never heard
problem.
And now, this was before my time,
Yes,
so
this happened a while ago,
I
and there
was out looking
was,
at,
nobody was
there
notified.
was just a concern about ET being made whole for what it was owed.
Right,
that was
right.
Then there was a tax deed sale where somebody bought the tax certificate.
Yeah.
Then it went to a,
And none of that was communicated with anybody here.
correct.
It
And
had
then
dragged on so long, but
And
that's
now,
what happened.
after a tax deed sale, it goes to sale to the highest
Right,
bidder
right.
at a foreclosure, at an auction. This isn't a foreclosure.
It was very,
It was the lost
under-
opportunity.
I never knew about it first.
Yeah, nobody knew about it.
All right, what's that?
Isn't that in foreclosure?
I'm sorry?
Is it in foreclosure?
No.
It's
No, so,
Sold.
It's sold, it's finished.
So,
Oh, it's sold.
It was
It's
a-
owned by a guy who blocked the lien.
Yep.
That's all I know.
and we
know
were
all that
never
other stuff.
notified that it was up for,
It was said that it was up for auction, but we couldn't find it anywhere.
Well, maybe that it was learned from this and we'll learn from this
Exactly.
for the next deal.
That's
Hope we
prevented
never
from
have it
happening.
again. We never have it again.
Learn
Okay.
from it, learn from our
How
mistakes.
about anything else? Anyone, is there anything
So
else?
we'll have-
motion to adjourn.
No,
Will-
Will, did you have something to say?
We have another issue.
I would like to bring something up.
Yes.
This is in conjunction with your opening remarks. I would just like to remind the board and the members who are attending here that we had a formal
Is there anything you want to say?
reserve study done 2 years ago. And it was identified at that point that we are woefully underfinanced. So there was no action taken, and in fact, the communication, the letter that was sent by a previous property manager to the members at the time of a vote with regard to reserve amounts clearly politicized or electioneered to make sure you're at the meeting so we do not have to get full reserves, if you recall. That the intent of that letter was, you don't want to pay more every month for building up the reserves, therefore you better attend the meeting so you can vote not to increase the reserves.
He wants to-
I think that cultural position has to be eliminated if you're going to move forward in the future and preparing the organization for additional maintenance costs.
Mike, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, I would
You were
say,
involved with that.
we have a vote. We have a vote every year. The facts are out there if you're interested in them. And the vote has been almost unanimous to keep the way we're doing it. Now, if we have special assessments, that's our issue. Then we have to pay special assessments. But the people in this building have emphatically said, we do not want to have full reserve.
And I would argue that we're not given a broad enough spectrum of options. Because right now, it's reserves up to be full. Reserves can be, as they are now, or no reserves. There's no option to give us, increase our reserves by, let's say, 10%, or by $10, or anything. And I think that's where we have been less than effective in trying to build up the reserves on a gradual basis.
That's fine, I agree with that.
Thank you for that, and we'll look into it.
Okay,
Bill wanted to say something.
Will, can you say something really quick?
Wait. How do I get him on speaker?
Oh,
It was on speaker.
Yeah, I took him off. Go ahead, Will.
go, Will. Quick.
Yeah, I just want to make a few points based on the dialogue and what was discussed at the meeting. First of all, Bob opened the meeting talking about how hard this board works. And for those of you who are on either the LSS committee or the architecture committee, you understand how much due diligence this team is doing with respect to costs, with respect to information, communication, etc. So if people are concerned about things, they don't need to be brought up here. They should be sent to the project manager, whether it's Charlie or whether it's Stephanie, if you've got questions about what you're hearing in the hallways. That's number one. Number two, with respect to Butterfly, there was an issue raised there. Butterfly has we have a full support model with Butterfly. If someone thinks there's a security issue that we need to address, send an email down to Vito, myself, and we'll get it addressed. Okay, and if we have to tighten some things up, we'll take care of it. But we certainly don't need to start bashing a product that we spent a fair amount of time looking at. And at least from my perspective, I've heard nothing but positive raves since the day it was installed. So, in respect to the last topic was construction. Charlie and the team have done an outstanding job. A lot of these things are being done remotely, but they're being done very successfully. And I think the alarm company has done a great job. I think for those of you as they start to visit the other apartments, you're going to see that they're very professional and they're trying to get in and out as quickly as possible. So I see it as another positive result of the board's work. And again, there was a lot of due diligence around costs, time, and the calendar. So thanks to everyone who supports that. I know maybe not everyone's here today, but I just wanted to get those few words out.
Thank you, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you, Will. Appreciate it.
I'll make a motion
To adjourn?
to adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Motion adjourned. At 8:04. Record
And
time.
everybody should know Bob gave up smoking.
Oh,
So he is a little uptight.
Yes.
really?